Cheers for cool. This dude is actually kind of a baller.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Like,
We
you
live?
learned some stuff from him.
Love it.
All right. Let's see if we can hear ourselves. Hello, hello.
Oh, he doesn't have headphones.
That's okay. I just want to hear. Can you talk into yours?
Hello.
Hello.
Sounds like we're
Did you? Oh,
What bourbon do you have, Nick?
I am drinking. I've been loving this company recently, Chattanooga Whiskey Company.
Oh, I've heard of them.
It's the Bottle and Bond. It is like kind of malty, a little chocolatey. It's nice.
It's good.
Honestly, it's my first drink here in a couple of days. Definitely need it
How's
after. Dude, I
Yeah,
am.
why don't you talk about what you got going on right now?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there are a couple of things that are interesting about this particular deal. This is one that I purchased back, and this is kind of the story of my life. That I bought it 6 months ago or so, but it all comes down to the last second at all times because.
But why wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, so this is a construction project. It's what we call a burn B, and we'll kind of break that down a little bit. But with all things my projects, mine get pushed to the back of the priority list unless I put a deadline in place. And in this case, we actually, I'll take it back to the beginning. I was doing a 1031 exchange. I had this crappy little house that I think I bought for like $50,000, did nothing to. And I bought it back in like 2018, 2019 timeframe. Didn't touch it, just rented it out and sold it for $85,000. A couple years later, somebody came and offered me what I thought was a silly price. So I said, screw it. Like I'm trying to upgrade my portfolio. Yep. I don't want more doors. I want fewer, better doors. And so I went out, talked to a bunch of agents and told them exactly what I was looking for, which was I wanted a value add opportunity. I wasn't necessarily looking to do 100% burr on the deal. Like it's always better if you can do the 100% burr, but I was looking to go out there, use this 1031 money to purchase something that I could Airbnb near my house. I wanted it within a 15-minute radius of my house. So put it out there into the universe and let my network know what I was looking for, and ended up finding this property on Nora, in the Nora area, on 76th Place, just off of Ditch, 15 minutes door to door from my house. It's exactly what I was looking for. It's an awesome place to toss my parents, to toss my in-laws when they come to town, because my wife and I get a little bit claustrophobic when people stay in our space for too long. So needed a cool place to put them. And we put probably our best contractors on it in terms of the quality of their work. I happen to know that they're always late. These guys, like they do great work. They're hardworking, but they can't leave something imperfect is really their biggest problem. And so if they see something small, they got to redo it, or they see something that most other subs or other contractors would just kind of brush over. They're going to go detailed on it. And so I was hoping to have it done at the end of August, but knew that was an ambitious ask for sure. And so I thought October 1st was reasonable back towards the end of August timeframe. So I said, screw it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put my listing live starting on November 1st, knowing that Taylor Swift is coming to town this weekend. We do well. And so immediately got a ton of bookings. And the way I did this, I think, was relatively creative. I actually went and got the photos from the listing before it had been rehabbed, blurred them out, and just put text over the top, like, hey, renovation incoming, awesome new open style kitchen. And I did price it under where the market's going to be for this thing once the photos are live, once people understand what we have here, with the intention of filling up the calendar. So do you guys want to talk a little bit about the rehab, or do you want to talk more about the financing first? And I'll kind of go either direction.
Either way, whatever way you think's easiest.
Well, I'll talk about the rehab. It's a 4-2. It was a terrible floor plan. So we moved a bunch of walls. We did a lot of things that are really cool. Brooks, I'm hoping once this eventually goes live, we maybe post a link to it.
I mean,
Tell
you're
everyone what
live.
you bought it for.
What? So yeah, bought it for it was either 200 or 205, something in that range. I initially was thinking that we would put about $60,000 into the deal, and once we were all said and done, I was assuming it would be worth about 320 on the back end. So in the ballpark of 100% BRRRR, depending on your lending partner on the back end.
Yep.
Now I knew I was asking a lot of favors in doing this. I was calling in, with all my subs who I obviously do a ton of work with. I was calling in all the favors. I was buying material. Like this was what I thought was going to be $60,000. What, retail would cost closer to like $80,000, $90,000 ballpark. But I was really trying to cash in. Paul's bougie taste came out, and so I think that number is going to be closer to 85 when it's all said and done. But it's going to be so much nicer than we ever could have imagined.
Do you have pictures of it you can airdrop to me?
Yeah, here.
I can,
Well, do you want to know what it looked like before? Because we don't have final photos yet.
If you want to send me both.
We don't have final photos yet. So,
Okay.
Well, how about we save that one? And when we eventually post this one on the podcast, we'll do the links. But if anybody wants to look it up, it's at 1602 East 76 or West 76 Place. 1602 West 76 Place. And yeah, maybe you'll pull it up. She was an ugly girl. It was real bad. There was no flooring. It was a shell. We decided to completely move the kitchen. Like we turned what was like a dining area into the. Oh, you're not gonna be able to find it on there. I'd look on Zillow, or like whatever platform you use. West 76
Street.
It's the place. So completely redid it. Put flooring in there, added a really amazing master suite. Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's turning out really, really nice. Really, really happy with it. We added a front porch to it that didn't exist. Completely changed the roof line.
That curb appeal is garbage. So that was smart.
What was that?
The curb appeal in the
Oh my
original
God, it was
listing
terrible.
is the worst 60s ranch vibes I've ever seen.
Yep, exactly.
So I'm really glad you added some.
Yeah, and
dimension
Tyler got
to
a
that.
sneak peek there and what the front of this place looks like. But we completely changed the face of the house.
So was this on the market?
Yeah, it was. It was just an on the market deal. I think it was initially listed for 200. We ended up doing a highest and best. I want to say at 205. So yeah, felt pretty good about it. We're looking at comps now, and we're seeing that that's probably closer to 360 versus the initial 320 we were hoping for.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, the market obviously has changed. It's a 4.2, which is an awesome place to be. 1,500.
This is great because you're not in a pretty dodgy urban downtown neighborhood, nor is such a safe appreciation bet as well.
Yep.
So like, let's just say you did over renovate it.
I definitely
cares?
did. Oh, I
Who
definitely
gives a- like you're gonna be fine in the long run.
Yeah.
there.
Paul, so this kitchen actually, yeah, so you can see here, it was like shoved back into a corner. This is now actually a closet. We shut it off, connected it back to the master, and then the dining room, which I don't know if you'll see, we actually kicked over into the kitchen. So completely changed the layout, opened it up. It feels so much. So where that dining room table is now where our kitchen is. I don't know if you can, yeah, completely redid it. We got rid of all the pink. We got rid of the green. Like
why?
Yeah, it was bad. It was
What
really
an attractive listing photos.
Yeah, no.
Just a dump.
Honestly, those look better than it looked in real life. The bones of the house were fantastic though. And so we're feeling really good about it. So yeah, the renovation is incoming. I'll make sure that maybe we even circle back in a future episode to show you guys what the final product looks like. But I had to set that date of November 1st simply because I knew I knew that if I didn't have a date on there, it was never going to get done.
Yeah.
And so, funny enough, we're recording this on Halloween. The last several days have been an absolute sprint. As of yesterday morning, there was no front of the house. We now have a front of the house. The appraiser came this morning, and it's a really good sign when the appraiser asks for your card, because she has her own renovation projects that she needs done. So
That's a good sign.
yeah, very good sign. And she didn't balk at my my comps that I sent her. And so I promised her, hey, I know we're not quite 100% done yet, but I'll send you the final photos. But like, we're at the 99% mark kind of thing. And she agreed, and she saw that was pretty cool. I think that there are a couple of interesting things though on the financing side that people need to be aware of. A BRRRR is a difficult thing to pull off. Like even just a normal BRRRR is a difficult thing to pull off, because you got to go get that renovation done on time, on budget, always a hard thing. But then on the back end, you have to estimate what your rental rate is going to be. It's really, really tough. And hopefully you get it right and you got somebody on the back end. But right now with DSCR lenders in particular, it is really hard to get that 1 to 1.2 on a traditional BRRRR. And so B&B is a really good back end option for the rental side of things. That said, like, how do you know what the rental rate is on an Airbnb? You really don't until you're into it. There's a variety of different tools. There's AirDNA, there's Rabbu, there's Price Labs now has one. And what I know is, I run a couple of fairly successful Airbnbs. All of them pull north of $5,000 a month. But if I looked at AirDNA, they would estimate that we'd be making like $3,800 a month on both of those. And so, like, if I go by AirDNA, then I'm probably going to underrepresent myself there on the DSCR side, on the back end, that debt service coverage ratio. And so
They used to be high, right? Didn't AirDNA used to be higher than what?
I'm a good operator. And so, like, that's like a jerk thing to say, but like, we do a really good job on our rehabs on the front end.
No, I
and
just feel like I remember them being higher than what we should take into account, but maybe not anymore.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe they've gotten more conservative. But I remember I sent this over to my lender, and he was estimating, again, we'd be in that $3,500 to $4,000 a month range. And what I did that I think was a little bit smart was I actually put that listing live, even with crappy photos. I did it under market, but we were averaging over $4,000 a month in our first 2 months of bookings without ever having photos, without ever having delivered. And so I got to point to that with my lender and say, I disagree with your numbers. I have like empirical proof that I'm doing a bad job of marketing, and I'm still outperforming your numbers. And it got my deal pushed through. So, obviously we're still in the final stages now that we're just waiting on the appraisal to come back.
So it was a DSCR refinance, and they increased the rent because you approved
the
bookings, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, do you mind sharing what lender?
Yeah. So I work with IUCU on just about everything that I do. I think they're fantastic.
I love IUCU. I have a handful of mortgages with them. They're pretty inflexible sometimes. I've noticed. So it's good to hear they use that evidence.
So
in my experience.
Yeah, no,
Scott Trilling, if you're listening to this,
I love Scott.
I appreciate you, Scott.
No, Scott's one of my favorite people. I texted him this morning when the appraisal happened. So no, he's an awesome guy.
He's a good guy.
And I think they have rules for a reason.
Yeah.
And
they're an institution.
They're an institution. They can be flexible with people that they've done a lot of work with, and when it's not just a flash in the pan. When I can, in this particular example, I was able to point to my other Airbnbs, which significantly outperform their AirDNA expectations. And so I get to do the exact same thing here.
So I'll share with you a little tidbit.
Yeah,
I was recently introduced. Do you guys know Britt Bridgman? He's a higher end Airbnb space. He's a contractor. He's basically kind of doing what you're doing a little bit, but he shared with me a lender, which is CRE Finance. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
They're doing a 30-year fixed right now at 7% on Airbnbs.
Wow.
Yeah. Looking at them for a couple of things, but when you take the 25-year amortized and then increase that to 30-year, it helps the payment quite a bit. And the best part is all of these other products are usually resetting after 5 years with the ARM.
Yeah.
This is a fixed.
That's amazing.
The value in that, just for the lower stress and the peace of mind, I think is huge. They do have, because the question is, well, how do they do it? Well, they have higher origination costs.
Mhm.
So it's about 2%, which is nothing to balk. I mean, that's something to balk out a little bit, but
it's an extra 2% you got to go and find there in that deal.
And are they charging that on the front end or the back end or
front end.
Okay.
You mean, will they charge it at
on
closing?
the origination?
At closing,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's still an interesting. I'm assuming 75% LTV kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, 80.
Oh wow, it's a great number.
Yeah. The more people I've talked to about this, the more they've told me like they don't know how this exists.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like something that's
like how it's real.
It feels too competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, I know CRE. I didn't know they were doing like a financial arm to it. I mean, they're a huge company, so I'm not surprised. So, I mean, that's awesome though. That's
We'll see how long it lasts. Usually in the lending world, what I notice is when something's too good to be true, it is, and then it doesn't last that long.
Mhm.
There was like a $1,000 down loan for owner occupants floating around with First Internet Bank. You guys ever hear about this?
Mm-mm.
I think I did a few years back, right?
Yeah, really popular when rates were lower. This was legitimate. $1,000 down, better interest rate. It was an arm, like adjusted in like 6 to 7 years. Tons of people used it, and it just disappeared.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, that bank's toast. They just were gone.
Wow.
Well, First Internet's still around, I think.
Okay, I think they're around. That product is.
Yeah,
I was told that they
probably
were not
ran out of
doing
money.
well,
Yeah,
personally.
They probably had a tough time selling those loans.
Yeah.
On the back end.
Yeah.
Right.
But the default rate was crazy.
I'm not sure, but I know they're still underwriting based on like the income standards and credit score. It's not like they were just giving it out to anyone. It's just the down payment was exceedingly low. But go back to the Airbnb. I just like totally threw us off.
No, I think that's all interesting stuff. But yeah, there is a ton of stress associated with this, despite the fact that I've got carpenters who were out there all day yesterday framing up the new front of the house, which looks freaking awesome. Despite the fact that I had multiple subs there, despite the fact that I had multiple maintenance guys there, getting over that hump at the end is so freaking difficult. I have so much respect for short-term rental property managers that do this at any type of scale and like kick these things off. The amount of work that goes into it. And Tyler, I know you've got an Airbnb or two. Like you have an understanding there of just how much goes into kicking it off and trying to look around corners as much as you possibly can, because each house is different. This isn't a hotel room where you know exactly your formula every single time. Like you don't necessarily know everything that needs to get done in order to make sure that this is a great experience. It's
very hard to systematize and automatize in this space.
Yes.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
You really have to
once it starts, it's easy for me. Like at this point with I probably interact with 1 out of every 10 of my guests that comes through, because I've got all my messaging. They get their automatic codes every single time. That's fantastic. Front door, back door, all that stuff. We've got backup locks on every single house now, so that even if the Wi-Fi goes, we've got all that figured out. But yeah, the front end is just so freaking difficult. And so, I'm going to go trick or treat tonight with the little one. And then I'm going back out there.
I imagine like it's kind of feels like you sit there at that 99.9% mark for way longer than you ever anticipate. Like you're sitting there, you're like, all right, I'm almost done. And then you're like, all right, I keep saying I'm almost done, but then something else keeps coming up that I forgot about or didn't think of. And I can imagine how that can be stressful and pretty frustrating at times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So question for you, why, if you have all these systems in place, why don't you just scale Airbnb? Like, why don't you just?
I probably will. A larger percentage of my portfolio will be short-term rentals over the next couple of years, but transitioning your portfolio takes a lot of time unless you want a fire sale. And that's not something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But that is something I've thought about. I've thought about doing the short-term rental thing, but my God, I do not want to do this last, like, outfitting the places. If I could find
finish one and you're kind of like that's why I don't, because like
I've got PTSD.
I finally have gotten stability in my last one, and I'm like, gosh, I don't want to do that again.
And so I know on all the ones that I do for myself, we spend all the money on the front end. Like everything's new. Like there's no question. Everything has a warranty when we're done with it, basically, when we do it. And that's the only way I think I would ever manage an Airbnb, is because like people are buying an experience. They're not buying a home.
Well, I inherited an Airbnb and it went way worse than the one I started from the
ground
up.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So I bought an Airbnb and it was like not even doing bad. I looked at the booking, like, I guess, history and like saw what it was making. I was like, this checks out. All I can have to do is re-optimize it.
Yeah.
But weirdly enough, it's almost like I inherited it right before it was like a ticking bomb and all these things happened that like just like the furniture started breaking down. Raccoons got in through like holes under the
I'm
soffit.
familiar with the raccoon issue.
The sewer like collapsed, and then just like a lot of like stuff that like I don't even know how the other guy was making it work, but it just all broke down for me, or I didn't know how to do it right. But so I just had to like restart pretty much everything. I just shut it down for a whole month in the summer. Did the sewer with off leash. You guys did that really quick. Literally, my next guest was showing up as the guys were
finishing
jetting it.
Yeah.
Like the same day. It was one of the most stressful weekends of my summer. Yeah. The hose for the jetting was running through the property with their muddy shoes. I'm wiping up the shoes. It was difficult. I would say also like the bedding. It's like stuff you don't think about. I was like, well, I'll use his. It's just like it wasn't a good fit. And yeah, we had to replace all of it. So like,
well, that's the kind of thing that a lot of people aren't thinking about when they're doing an Airbnb. Like the CapEx items are so high because your furniture breaks down here over time. Your bedding,
which does depreciate over the course of 5 years, which is really helpful if you know how to do.
Yeah, from a tax perspective, it's amazing. Yeah, but you still have to reserve the cash. Like the cash still needs to come out of your bank account. And so, like for instance, on one of my Airbnbs, we had to shut it down for 3 days because somebody was smoking in there, and they were smoking. They like damaged up the walls. They stained the carpet. They stained bedding, and so we had to go and replace a bunch of that stuff.
The thing about Airbnb is when it's great, it's really great. When it's bad, it's really bad.
Yeah,
it's like a roller coaster.
You better have a great team.
Yeah,
like unless you're the one operating it yourself, and I think
the cleaner is the MVP there. Yeah, if they know how to stage that, make it really look like a personal touch, and you train them how do you restock if there's a huge supply closet with everything, and if you have a good cleaner, I think it's night and day. That's at least my experience.
I 100% agree with that. Our cleaners are incredible. They go out there and thankfully they actually have a couple handymen that they call if there's an issue, and they don't even, they just like charge.
They basically manage it because they're the ones with eyes on it.
Yep, exactly. I don't want to go out to my Airbnbs.
No,
like I haven't been in my other two that are here within the general Indy area that I manage myself versus having a manager on them, and I haven't been in them probably in 6 months, which I love.
So you know what I want to do is do the higher end Airbnb like you have done. So one of mine, believe it or not, is about 2,000 to 2,300 in top line.
Good.
The other one's probably like 3,000 in top line.
That's good.
And they're both in like C+ to B- areas. Like
one of them's in like Butler, right? Butler, Tarkington area. Yeah.
South though. It's close to the So it changes quite a bit.
Oh, I'm very familiar with that block. I don't know if I ever told you this. I had one of my funniest stories ever in real estate on that block. I had a house that was rented out by a former property manager of mine.
What, the same street, Rookwood?
Yeah. 3922 Rookwood. Okay. So I'm not doxing your address.
Neighbors.
Yeah. So I don't have this house anymore. For a very specific reason. I had a tenant that wasn't paying. So I went out there and I was like, I think this place is vacant. And so I was kind of looking into it, and I asked my property manager, like, hey, if we think it's vacant, she's like, if the power's off, you can go in there. So we call the power company, we find out. I go out there with a contractor. This is several years ago before Paul and I were working together. And all I see are just bullet holes all through the side of the house. And apparently there was a prostitution ring happening out of my house.
About this?
Yeah. So that's, I have definite associations with Rookwood.
And that's where you can stay, folks.
Yeah.
By Airbnb.
Hey, the area actually like legitimately is turning. Yeah. Like 100%.
I would live on the street.
And it's not far from the Children's Museum.
No, so it's an awesome area.
I get a lot of Children's Museum people.
Yeah. I would assume so. I mean, if you don't.
Newfields as well.
True. Yeah, that's very true.
By the way,
no hotels there.
Have you gone out to the Halloween fest
Oh, yeah.
out there?
No,
awesome.
not yet, but I've seen people post about it. It looks awesome.
Dude,
It's
freaking
amazing.
cool.
The Christmas one is awesome.
The Christmas one's cooler, but like the October one's awesome.
Yeah, if you haven't been to Indy or been to the actual Children's Museum, we have the largest one in the United States, which I would have never guessed, to be honest with you, in Indiana. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's actually kind of a pretty big attraction for people to come in and see.
Mhm.
And Newfields is something that I feel like doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
They do a great job all year round. Like we've been to the Christmas stuff.
Dude, the Christmas thing is amazing.
They put on events all the time that are awesome. I've seen a lot of stuff, like you said, of the pumpkin stuff or the Halloween pumpkin stuff that they have going on, and it's just beautiful. It's an awesome ground right there. Yeah, I got one thing that I also wanted to do with you guys that now that I'm thinking of. I have that Cicero house that I'm thinking that I've sent to you.
Is that the B&B? Okay, yeah.
Thinking about Airbnb in it. We haven't bought it yet or anything like that. I was kind of going to give you the laptop and share the screen and get an unbiased opinion. Like, have you go through, because to be honest with you, I don't do Airbnbs.
Yeah.
You two have more experience in that than I do.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to like give this to you and
why
then
don't you
take you through, or take the audience through.
Why don't you
you
drive here a little bit, because I'm definitely going to screw it up, but I'm more than willing to talk through it a little bit.
That's lingo for saying he's had a little too much bourbon.
It's lingo for you're right. I haven't eaten much in the last 2 days, and I think this is the most calories I've had today. So
wow.
What do you want me to pull up besides pictures, Zillow?
I think pictures is all we need.
And off-leash estimator.
Yeah, the off-leash estimator. For anybody who's not familiar, offleashconstruction.com/estimator. It's not designed to be your scope of work. Please don't use it as your scope of work, but it's designed there to help you eliminate deals very quickly and just decide, hey, is this one that I should go and take the next step and have my agent walk and have my contractor walk in that situation? Hopefully it's off leash if it's here in Indy, but totally understand if it's not. But yeah, what you're trying to do is, as quickly as humanly possible, eliminate deals, and that's what that's for. We actually have something coming out here, and I'll just kind of announce it here while you're pulling all that stuff up. I'm hoping to have it launched actually by next Friday, which is a hold deal analyzer that does both buy and hold all through a web portal, buy and hold, BRRRR, and flipping. Has a rehab estimator in there, so you can just kind of fill it out, and it'll give you an output of what you're what you could expect from a returns perspective with all the assumptions that you can go and adjust. So I'm in the 90% mark. The only one I don't feel really good about is the flip at the moment. And so I'm still kind of reworking it a little bit, but we got the mainstay event next week. And so I wanted to launch it there with the mainstay event. Because I don't think that there are good calculators out there.
Bigger Pockets ones are pretty good.
They're solid. I just feel like they take too many steps to get to a quick.
Okay.
But that was my opinion. And granted, I haven't looked at them in probably a year.
Yeah. So we have a package of literally I just put all of ours, colored them green, and put them in a folder and put a price on them. We actually get a lot of downloads. They cost $15 and it's rental, Airbnb, house hack, commercial. Just spreadsheets, basic, like put it in, the 10 so fields and it spits you out what it makes.
Nice.
I get a lot of people because there's a lot of beginners that's like, what they don't have and they're incompetent. And then they're like, I don't even have a way to calculate, Yeah. I'm like, just buy this. So we kind of monetized it. $15 obviously doesn't do much. It's just like, I think it's value.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sell it.
100%. Yeah. Well, I definitely want to get your feedback on the calculator once it's live, because it's one of those things that we get to continually update. So
what do you want me to pull up for comps in terms of like Airbnb comps?
So I think, we could probably do it on like data.rabu, given that one's free.
Rabu, so I'm excited to see how it works.
Data.rabu.com.
So I usually use AirDNA.
I use that one as well.
To get it, and then I go to Airbnb and it flipped through many dates.
That's interesting. I like that approach.
Yeah, Airbnb itself is one of the best places to run comps.
Well, they'd be silly not to.
And you could see how much it's booked.
Yeah.
So if one's booked a ton, that's like a really good.
That's more of a validation though, because like you don't know whether it's actually booked or whether it's somebody using it themselves or something like that. And now, granted, neither does AirDNA.
True.
It's just you always have to be conscious of that.
That's a good point.
All right. So
All right, let me share.
Yeah.
And we'll start. Where do you want to start? Just pictures?
Yeah, let's start with the photos.
Okay. Let's do window. These pictures. So.
All right. I think we should be able to see that. All right. So what I'm seeing here, I think that's some pretty cheap.
Just want to make sure it's
Yep. I think it's showing live. Maybe.
All right.
That looks like some relatively cheap vinyl flooring throughout in that entryway. But like it looks like it's in fine shape. Carpet looks a little tired, but like not bad. I don't think you need to do anything. If I were you, and again, I think the comps are going to be important. Like I don't like seeing some of that overhead lighting. Like I think you want to get rid of what, and I don't actually know what it's called, but Paul and I call it the boob light.
Yeah, we call it boob lights.
All right. All right.
I think most people do.
All right. Good. So I think I think you want to probably get some recessed lighting in there, but like overall, this looks like a late 80s type of construction, late 80s, early 90s type of construction. If I'd have to,
I think it's 2012.
No way.
It does look like 80s though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. All right. It looks. I'll believe you, man.
No,
like,
I'm double checking myself here.
No, I remember because I think I commented that like the bones are in good shape given the age. Yeah.
So does this area have an HOA?
It does, but it's not. But they allow everything.
It's right by the water.
So First Key went in and has bought like 3 or 4 houses on that street for well over what they're worth.
Okay.
So that's still all right. That's
we're still looking at photos. All right. So, I mean, if not 80s, then it is builder grade to the max.
It is. Yeah.
Although that vanity is nicer than it has any right to be, given what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep rolling.
Bad picture.
The lighting sucks. But
I mean, this is me taking it as I'm walking through. So
okay.
Talking at the same time to the homeowner.
What is that in the bottom right corner? That's not an air conditioner. Like a
no, that would be
like a paper shredder. Okay, no, we're good.
If you refinance this, what's your monthly payment going to be around?
Well, we'll get there.
Okay,
yeah,
keep going.
But honestly, those doors look fine. I mean,
this is the office, so this would be the other bedroom, but she uses it.
That's
office.
Definitely a bedroom. It's got the closet. Yeah. You're good to go.
So paper shredder, yeah.
Yep. Okay, good. I got nervous. All right, so here's the one thing you're gonna need to be aware of.
Oh, that's great.
With a 2015 build, you probably have another 3 years on that water heater at most, and that furnace you probably got at most another 5 years. Same with the AC. So just be cognizant of those. That those are going to be things that are coming up. And the problem with an Airbnb is that when those things are an issue, they're an issue immediately.
Yeah.
So you just want to make sure that you're doing any type of proactive maintenance and proactive checkup that you can on those. Okay. But like they look fine. I bet you they function fine until they don't.
Yeah.
All right. The awesome garage. You actually like. Here's the other thing I'll say. Like on Airbnb, I look at this and I'm kind of like,
oh, that's a player, like a fun. You can make that into a fun 100%. Area,
yes.
Like a pool table area, ping pong. Like do something
that's
cool.
That's how you're gonna get the bookings. Decking that out.
The only problem though is I guarantee that that's not climate controlled in any way. So you would probably need to find some way to get ducting in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that the same bathroom or is that a different bathroom?
I think this is the.
Because it looks the same to me, but
I don't know. I'd have to go back and check it.
Is it a 3-2?
It is, I believe so. Let me double check.
That closet's great.
Yeah, 3-2, 1340 square.
The thing though about a closet in an Airbnb is it doesn't actually add any value. Like that kind of nice walk-in closet. Mm-hmm. It's good for your ARV, but it doesn't actually do anything for you on the
That's
Airbnb.
A good note for people.
Yeah,
so this is the master. So it's pretty similar.
Yep.
And that's the closet on the left.
Yep, I see. Yep, I'm with you. Honestly, man, the place it looks really clean. So this is always one of those like situations where
do you want to do much, or the initial?
Yeah. Well, it's not ugly enough.
Yeah,
it's generally what our team talks a lot about. Is the stuff we tend to like to do is like really ugly, or it's perfect.
Mhm.
And this is kind of in that middle ground where it's nice. It's a very nice long-term rental. I don't know if this is going to be a hot short-term rental. What do
I
you
was
think?
about to say this to me gut feeling is a long-term rental.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily I don't see enough
Dude, I love that
leading
3
me to
seasons
believe
room.
this is a short-term rental unless Cicero had an extreme undersupply and a ton of needed demand. Then who gives a shit?
I think
Put the thing
I
up.
think the demand is there with the lake.
It's
Yeah.
right, dude. This is
Right.
like
Then
2
you might
minutes from
want to
the
just
lake.
consider it because especially here's the thing. You get a lot of people crowding the luxury space that want to make a lot of money, but the utility space of like, hey, a budget place just with some beds, which this could easily be with a very limited amount,
Mhm.
can actually crush it with occupancy. There's a lot of people balling on a budget.
Yeah.
I know it because that's where mine are placed.
Mhm.
I have very high occupancy because mine are very appropriately priced.
Yeah. So same vinyl here in the kitchen
Yep.
as well. She said that she did replace this carpet. Not that I would want to keep the carpet in there really, but
And
she
I think
did replace the carpet here like in the last year.
I think you
So-
need to compensate with decor what's missing in terms of the natural. It's a basic 2000s build. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It has
Yeah, it's a
nothing
ranch.
unique
Yeah.
in the actual home itself. It's clean, it's fine. But I
Mhm.
think with good decor, maybe really playing on the lake vibe or
Mhm.
playing off, I don't know, Indianapolis, maybe something like that,
Yeah.
I think could really perform well.
So
Yeah, looks
those were the photos. Let's
Super close to the
share.
lake, though. I mean, that is great location.
We'll go to the Zillow. Is that what you want to do next?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that.
My main question is there enough lake tourism if you're not lakeside that they would still stay there?
Yes. There is. There's a need.
You're talking to the guy that used to sell all the boats that were on that water.
Yeah, I used to
Oh.
run the dealership up there.
Well, you would be the guy to
Um,
know then about Lake Cicero.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
kind
Morse.
of. Yeah.
Morse, like I should say.
So it's a little bigger.
I like your Zestimate.
Yeah. So I mean, so for everybody, well, I guess we'll go to numbers that last, but that's the Zestimate right now.
Zestimate is trash.
Yeah.
Zestimates are mostly trash because they've never been inside your home.
So taxes on this.
They're a good back of the napkin, like number to look at. You know?
It's directional data. Similar to the
taxes are what,
construction.
1926.
Okay.
Um,
But that's an owner occupied taxes.
correct. Yep.
So you know
So
that
you
that's
have
gonna
to
bump.
know that it's going to bump closer to 2 probably.
All right. So what has sold here recently?
So
There's nothing for sale.
for sale. Let's do sold in the last 6 months. Apply. Here's what we got.
All right. My eyes are not that good. All right. 312. All right. But it's 500 square feet bigger and it's got an extra
Bigger.
bed,
Mm-hmm.
but probably
They're all
similar.
north of 300 though.
3.2.
This
that's
is probably
smaller.
the best comp
That's the best.
That's a
comp.
great comp for you to work with.
without looking at the pictures
And
of
it
it.
has not.
340, 2 extra baths,
yeah,
1
no,
bed.
that's
That's
not your
not
comp.
not a comp. That's got 1 extra bath and a lot more
Wow.
square footage.
Is
That's not a
It
comp.
depends though. If it's got a basement that's unfinished, that one could be a comp.
That's true. Let's look at
Nope.
So-
Oh wait, that looks like an unfinished basement to me. I just saw. Yep.
Yep.
All right, so that's a comp, but it's got a really nice unfinished basement.
Right. That definitely has
So
some
it helps
value.
you, but it hurts you
Yeah.
as the person that you're looking at. But
Yep.
that actually is not a terrible-
Zestimate's looking
So-
pretty accurate.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go too far outside of this. I mean, this is the community, right? This is where the HOA is. So that's going to be like your true
Wow.
comps. Like you get closer, like it's right next. You walk across the street.
that's a
You're at the
2-minute
lake.
walk to the water.
Yep.
That's in the title right there. 2-minute walk to the water.
Yep. Wolfie's on the lake is right here.
That's
like
walkable too.
it's all walkable. There's a trail that runs right here.
Does that one have the broken barrel?
Yes.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
And I didn't know that
I think
until
you
I
just want
went
this for you.
recently. I mean, I do kind of, but
I think you should do it.
It would be a great place for my parents as well when they come.
Because I think we're talking about non-monetary benefits of this property, of which Nick said he wanted to house his family. That's a real important thing to think about.
When it's giving them what's cool about an Airbnb is, yeah, you get the rental, yeah, you get more rent per night, all that stuff. You also get a lot more headaches, but yeah, you get some personal usage out of it, and it's a space that I get to put my family. They don't have to spend any money. And while it does technically cost me money because it's taking time that it could be rented, like it's one of those things that it's a marginal benefit in those situations. And so, yeah, the comfort level with coming to visit becomes a lot greater.
And so here is some pendings.
282. All right, that's a great comp for you right there. But we don't even know what it's pending at. All right, so looking at it, it looks a little bit nicer than yours from at least flooring. It's hard for me to tell. I can't see.
It's far away.
So did you want to run Airbnb comps too?
Well, that's kind of what we're gonna do. We're just looking at the if we were gonna refi it.
Yeah, the flooring's nicer, at least in that room.
Like this is laminate.
Yeah, all right.
You could totally beat that. I mean, that is pretty low. Great.
We don't know what it's pending at. I would almost. How long has it been on the market? Like how long was it on the market before it went pending?
9 days.
Yeah, so that probably went over. If I had to guess,
probably went well over
9 days.
And I will
probably
say
about asking.
And I'll say
280, 282.
I'm saying it's over that probably.
We'll know here in a couple.
Usually it's the first weekend if it's over.
I'm going 290.
I mean, 291. It's been up for 9 days. It's been pending.
What's your bet? Yeah. What's your bet? 291.
My bet on that property is that it's going for 280.
All right, Brooks.
I would say probably 295.
All right, so we'll have to circle back on this one and see who won that bet.
Yeah,
because this was April, I would say over.
Because if anything, so first key has come. First Key's come on the street and bought about 3 or 4 properties for about that are actual comps for like 310, 320.
So yeah, I like your
maybe estimate. A year and a half ago.
Feels about right at about
feels conservative, honestly.
Let's go with 300. I think
I think 300 is the right one.
Feels
300 feels right.
And you're thinking about that as like almost like an ARV in these situations. Okay, perfect.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Just wanted to make sure that that's how you were thinking. You don't think that as it is today. Now, granted, the carpet, like you said, is new.
Would I want to keep that? No.
Yeah. Like
realistically,
it definitely not an Airbnb. People abuse carpet in an Airbnb.
Yeah. So,
all right. So I think we've got kind of what your end state looks like. I think what you'd probably want to touch is a little bit of lighting in that place. I think you want to touch a little bit of the flooring. So 1,500 square feet, assume about $6 a square foot for demo and install. So what is that, like $9,000? $9,000, a little bit of lighting. Let's call that another like 3 when it's all said and done. Once you do any drywall repair. All right. So you're at like 12,000. What else would you want to touch there? Tyler, Brooks, like just based on what we saw.
I mean, we would definitely probably want to do something nice with that garage potentially.
Yeah,
but that's not something that you need to do.
It's a drywalled already, and so like
you could think about a mini split potentially, but that's a lot of money.
A mini split's probably going to be about 8 to 10.
Why is it that much around here?
No. I just had one. It's about 4 to 5.
All right. So mine was a 4-car garage, so maybe a little bit more. And granted, not my own crew. It's down in Bloomington. So all right, fine.
Yeah, and that just depends because I've only done mini splits in Maryland and they're a little cheaper there.
Okay, fair.
For whatever reason, I
just got one in a 3 seasons room,
so it could be
about 4,200.
42. Okay, all right. So let's operate with 5 as the number, given that this is drywalled. And all right, so you're at 5, so you're at like 17. You're gonna need to outfit the place. You're probably gonna need to upgrade some stuff. I would say you can probably keep some of it, not all of it, in that situation.
So if you're listening, where our numbers are at on this right now, I can probably buy this at $275 with all the furnishings that you just saw on the pictures there.
I think you're probably going to invest. You're going to want to update some decor. A lot of that crap you can buy on like Amazon, though. A lot of the decor, and it's going to be relatively inexpensive to like get kind of kitschy stuff. Yeah. Like for instance, the one that we're
lake
doing,
house and shit like that.
Well, like the one we're doing right now for ours. We bought so much dog shit because it's, we're calling it the off leash oasis, and we've got like dog beds and like all like the dog art everywhere and stuff.
Oh wait, it's the off leash oasis.
Yeah, this is the one that we're really pulling
You
everything
just
in.
threw me through a loop.
We'll circle back. Oh, once I have finished photos, we'll circle back.
I like it.
But dude, actually,
I
can I
get
just
behind
say real quick, the coolest feature in this place is we have a built into the island of it. We have a dog bowl, 2 dog bowls with a pop filler that's been
That's cool.
that's been plumbed up so that it's like
When you get
go
that in
and
your
fill
house,
the dog
that is
bowls.
pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty sick. So you're gonna allow dogs?
Oh yeah, we allow dogs in all our Airbnbs.
That is something that I don't do anymore. On one in particular, but
All right, fair.
I've had
So,
some bad.
all into
experience.
this, probably, let's call it 295.
So we said about 17 in rehab to get it to like a bougie state.
Yeah.
A relatively bougie state. I think you probably want to, let's say, toss another with a little bit of furniture, a little bit of decor, another 3 to 4 into it if you're smart about it. So let's say you're all into it for like 20.
Mhm.
But that's including furnishings, which obviously is not part of your ARV number that you're looking at in that 300 to 310 range that we we're talking about earlier.
Yep. So where do you want to go from here? You want to go to Data Rabu and look?
Yeah,
look
let's just take a quick look at it.
So, wait, it sounded to me like so this is you're getting it for 275.
Yep.
Okay, so
with all the furnishings,
this
fully
does not
furnished.
work whatsoever, right? As like a
burr.
Or
if we're gonna burr it, no.
But it can. And so that's where I have a little bit of an issue with how a lot of people analyze burrs is they view the only way it's successful as getting all your money back out.
Totally.
Yeah. But like
if
you can get a reduction in how much cash you have to put in there, I consider that a huge freaking win. Like that was my plan.
I want to erase the concept of burr from most people's minds just to go back to how it was back in the olden days when it was just like refinance when it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how I think you should think about it. From first principles, not from I gotta make this a burr. Like, no, use first principles. Does it make sense to refinance?
Yeah.
Not. But anyways.
So
Jesus, 64. Oh no, hang tight. We do need to be cognizant here is that the ones on the water are gonna outperform.
Way different.
Yeah,
way different.
If you can look at the water when you drink your coffee, it's a difference.
Oh yeah, you can't even use that as a comp. One on water.
So, I mean, I guess I got to come over here.
Completely different game.
That's a great comp right there.
Yeah.
36. That's a good number, man. That's $3,000 a month. That's better than what you do from a rent perspective.
$3,000 a month. You want to be getting more than $3,000 a month.
No, I'm saying that's this estimate right here.
Yeah, no, I love that. But he needs to be making more than $3,000 a month.
Yes.
For what we're talking about, he could be doing better.
I think with competent management, he totally could.
$3,000 is not bad, but that's covering your costs.
Yeah.
That's maybe like a 6% cash on cash return.
Ooh, what's that one right there?
370.
That place is huge.
62.
And it's huge.
But I mean,
it's a big boy.
No, you know what?
It's
actually
300 more square feet and
it's got an extra bedroom, though.
1 bedroom and a half bedroom. So I mean, what? Tack off.
These are estimates, or is this legit?
These are estimates, dude. It's all estimates on Rabu and all these platforms. Now it's not compared to the. Yeah,
let's do 3 bedrooms. It's going to be 3+, but.
So the other thing that I'm a huge advocate of, put a freaking queen blow-up mattress in a closet, and then you can, because nobody cares about the number of bedrooms. What they care about is the number of people they can shove in there.
Beds.
Yeah. And so, like for instance, my 4-bedroom, 2-bath, we have it set to 12 people because we've got 2 blow-up queen mattresses.
All right. So since this is 36, and then the other one was 60. Let's call it like 40 or 45 in the middle.
Yeah, let's call it $3,500 a month.
Okay.
I feel like that's a super conservative number, and I think you could wildly outperform that if you even spent a little bit more than the 20 that you're talking about. But like, do we lose things?
I think I minimized everything. Let me see. Where did you go?
I just want to put this on the record. I have a badass wife who was willing to go fight with IKEA for me today on behalf of this Airbnb. So thank you to Diane while we are pulling this up.
Yeah.
Setting up an Airbnb is a real pain in the butt, and she is dealing with my biggest headache of the day right now.
All right, let's go to numbers here.
Beautiful. All right. I don't know your calculator. And so that's one of the things.
This is pretty customizable.
Totally. Well, I think this is one thing to shout out for anybody who's watching. Like, if you're not picking every calculator is a little bit different. And so find the one that works for you and kind of go deep into it. We've obviously built our own, and we think it's going to be the best. We've got both an Excel sheet and hopefully a one that we're launching here very shortly. But find the one that works with your brain and that somebody has actually checked that the numbers make sense, and roll with that.
Yeah, and I'll use multiple. Like I'll run it through a couple different ones just to make sure I'm not missing. Like if one's broken or something like that, it's nice to.
I got to get you on my beta here.
So we'll go 300. So this is
the purchase price, dude.
I know, but this is after refi. Like if I go and have somebody refi this at 300, let's see if it's going to cash flow, right?
Oh, that's fair.
You want to do that first?
I think that's so. This is not like a Burr calculator.
This is not a Burr calculator.
Fair,
no, this is just an amortization.
So down payment 75. So you're assuming yep. I think that's a fair assumption. On an Airbnb, assuming a 25% down is a smart approach.
Yeah. So I mean, you could get as close as 20% down, like we were talking about earlier, or some people might make you put 30. Might make you put 30.
Most Airbnbs, you're not going to get better than 25% down.
Mm-hmm.
So I think 25% down. Like, let's assume CRE that's not in business for a long time.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm with you.
Can you see?
Can you zoom in a little bit there for me?
But if you buy someone to send you
what
CRA's contact,
yeah, no, I need that.
Them.
I need that contact information.
Yeah, I will.
I wonder if
Richard Tretzky.
Yeah,
they're totally in like the mafia. He's from New Jersey.
All right, don't let Scott hear this, but I wonder if they'll take other people's appraisals.
They might, honestly, knowing these guys.
All right. So you got a $75,000 down payment. Loan amount. Yep. Estimated cash close. I'm totally with you. I'm aligned. Projected rent. Let's bump that.
Why is this not?
What is that rent to price ratio? How is that 2%? I don't understand.
Hold on.
I don't understand math.
This is not letting me even touch it. Not letting me edit it. Let me see here.
No, you've got the purchase price change, dude.
I know, but it's not letting me do it anymore. Of course. Well, just reopen it. How about that?
Do you have Excel?
Mm-hmm.
Do it in Excel. Do it in a real application. No, I love Apple. Like I use all their products, but like numbers is the one I can't wrap my brain around.
I don't know a single soul who would dare to use
numbers.
numbers.
Not using it. Mm-hmm.
I actually am unfortunately only on Google Sheets.
I
don't even have Excel. Is Excel better than Sheets?
It's a little more powerful, but like it's not as good at the collaboration piece. So that's like it's a pro and con situation. If you're like deep into Excel is way better. But if all you're looking for is like basic tables, like the most complicated thing you're going to do is a VLOOKUP or like a pivot table, Sheets is great. You can't beat that.
That affirms my thinking.
Well, maybe not. Let's see.
Here, let me, Brooks, I'm going to airdrop you something right now. I'm going to let you go through my, my calculator here because I actually have a Burr calculator. Why don't we do that real live?
Yeah. Because it's signed into a different email for my.
There you go. There's airdrop it to you. Open that in Excel.
Yes.
Here we go. So it's a little complicated. Everything in blue here is a variable that we can adjust. So so in that top section is like the front end of the deal. So if, for instance, you're going to be doing a BRRRR, this is what you want to work with. So and like I said, we're going to have the online calculator here shortly, but it's not live actually on the internet yet. So what's your purchase price?
275. Do you want me to add in the? No, you got rehab in there.
No,
dude.
we got a rehab budget, dude.
Let's do 20. Is that not going to let me do it?
Yeah, well, there you go. So it's assuming a 1% closing cost. Boom, boom, boom. Let's assume you're just going to use cash for the sake of conversation, but we can
Make
always
it easy. Yeah.
always adjust that in the future. After repair value, we've got at. So this is where, yeah, I think you probably want to go up to like 300. 300 might be a little conservative, but again, roll with that. Loan terms on the back end, you're going to want to 30-year or yeah, potentially adjust that to 25 because I know that's pretty common for DSCR. I'm actually, dude, I just got a 7%. So I don't.
Okay, we'll leave that alone.
Let's
then.
leave it for now. You
Yeah,
can
I
always
just got a
adjust.
7%.
That can change.
All right. Lender points 0, I think, or kind of what I saw recently, 75%. Boom, boom, boom. Move that down. All right. And so what did we say? 3,500 was the monthly rent.
I think that was our guesstimate.
So
Yeah. your
good going.
guesstimate.
It sounds pretty good to me.
yeah, directionally correct. I think that
Now,
it's
do
conservative.
you include cleaning fee in that number, or is that going on top?
So we are probably going to need to toss that into something else. This doesn't necessarily have a cleaning fee line, but we can add that. Annual appreciation increase. I think 3% feels good to everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Appreciation and rent. I think that's pretty
Cicero.
conservative.
I think
Mhm.
it's Cicero. Yeah.
All right, vacancy. So are you and Caitlin planning to use this with your family at all?
Potentially.
What percentage of the time would you
But
want to use that?
probably not.
All
I
right, so
mean,
put that at
just because
0.
they like staying with us, but let's just leave it as
Also,
is.
let's-
Let's just do it as a true Airbnb.
Well, so then I would put that at 0.
Okay.
This is more designed for a long-term rental where your vacancy, like that 3,500 builds in the vacancy rate.
Mhm.
So in this particular situation, I would assume that you were gonna, yeah, like any time you were gonna use it would be the true vacancy in that situation. Repairs and capex, I like to keep that at the similar numbers to what I would use for a long-term rental because of what Tyler was talking about earlier. You were saying like, hey, the furniture is going to break down. You're going to have to buy new linens. You're going to have to just buy. People steal your cup. People break your cups. Like I wish I could say I hadn't had all my coffee cups stolen once. Happened. So leave that there. PM fee. Are you going to manage this yourself? Can you imagine?
Probably. Yeah.
All right. So I bump that down to 0. For anybody out of state, assume that you're probably going to be paying anywhere from 15 to 25% for short-term rental. And to be clear, I think that's the best money you could spend. But here actually,
I don't think out-of-state people should
you should not
own Airbnbs unless they're very skilled.
Very skilled or have a great PM.
But 25% is going to wipe away most margin in Indiana. Very hard to cash flow.
It's a
25% management fee.
It's a good way of owning A-class assets and making it be a.
If you're okay breaking even and like, cool, we made $500 this month.
100%.
But then, yeah. Anyways.
So Brooks, I let's actually really quickly and then PM fee. Let's put your cleaning fee. So let's assume that that's 15% for the sake of conversation, right there, because we don't have a cleaning fee line there. All right, the average lease up fee, just change that, not that one, the one right underneath it to 0. That's just if a PM charges you to lease a place. Obviously, we're not in that situation, so we're just going to assume that that's 0. Property tax is, we're going to want to bump. You said it was 1,900 or something like that, right?
1926.
All right, so 1% feels good. It's going to bump up.
3,000.
So I think we feel good about that. Your insurance at about 125, maybe a little bit higher. What do you think? 150? Does that feel? Does it feel good to you, Tyler?
I don't have Airbnb
think
insurance.
Yearly premiums. So I mean, this is probably a 1,500.
So you're thinking even a little bit less
to 1,800 premium on the year.
All right, so I think we're being a little conservative here with that number, the 150.
Okay,
which I think is okay.
Like
because the taxes aren't as conservative; those could be higher.
They will be higher probably in the next couple of years, but
not right away.
In the next
probably.
Year or two, that's
we'll kick the
can down the road.
We all have to do that.
So taking a look there, year one, your cash flow always sucks year one in a BRRRR. And the reason for that is there's multiple months that you are renovating the place. You're not making any income. You're only paying money out. Transparently, this is not a great BRRRR, but at the end of the day, like how many people are in the business of turning down north of 20% margin return?
Great point.
The other piece of this that my calculator hasn't necessarily taken into account is the value of any of the things that are in the home. So it's probably a couple extra $1,000 in there, which is an additional benefit there. But it's something to be considered.
How did they get the equity growth number there?
The equity growth number is
From the
the
3%
change from the ARV, the ARV versus the purchase price and the rehab. And then it also takes into account the change in the value of the home of that 3% per year.
Does it calculate loan pay down?
Yep. So you can actually go take a look at the calculator tab. There's a second tab down if you look at the bottom. So it calculates all that stuff for you.
I'm gonna need this spreadsheet.
I got you, buddy. He doesn't believe it works.
This is why I like using multiple calculators to look at, just because sometimes I see something that
Yeah.
No, I've been wanting one that calculates the total ROI really well in spreadsheet form.
Just you wait until my online calculator comes out. You're gonna freaking love that thing.
Oh, I will.
It's got the monthly breakdown. It's money, dude. You're gonna love that thing.
How am I gonna white label it though to make money off of it?
You know what? You're gonna sell some freaking houses using it. That's how you're gonna white label that.
I know. I'm joking. I don't need $15.
So if you're buying this, does some property you buy all day for that 275 price fully furnished?
All right. So looking at this right now.
Yep.
Looking at this right now, I think you're going to significantly outperform that 3%. Cicero is an awesome area. Being anywhere in Hamilton County, you're going to outperform that 3%, especially given the fact that you're buying this under $300,000. Where you and I live right now, we're not going to see 10% appreciation year over year because the values have gotten so high for the rest of Indiana. That said, like this is a cheap Hamilton County property. Oh, yeah. I think that 3% is probably the most conservative estimate there on the board. So from that perspective, I like.
You really do?
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for Cicero and Noblesville.
And dude, being 2 minutes from the water, if somebody values that, which I think a lot of people do, like here's what I'll say.
I'm trying not to take into account just because the past 5 years have been crazy growth. That doesn't mean forever. Indiana historically has been
relatively flat.
3.
Yeah, you know? Totally. And I think that there are certain ancillary benefits, Hamilton County being one of them, that and being an
it is the fastest growing county.
Yeah,
in the state.
It's an under $500,000 property in Hamilton County.
True.
Which like that just is hard to find today.
True.
And so from that perspective, I think you can do really, really well. I think the other piece of this is if you have the cash. This is one of those situations that if you have the cash to sit there, it's a great place to be. I'm one of those people that I never have cash in my pocket because as soon as I have $2, I'm gonna go buy something.
I feel you.
And
by buy something, it's usually another property. If you're
100%. It's always another property. So I never have cash just sitting there. But if I had cash and I was like, hey, I need a place to park this. This is a great freaking deal, in my opinion. And I would do it all day and twice on Sunday.
I think this deal makes sense because of what you're interested in your personal use in Hamilton County. Everything we just mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah. This is basically something. Yeah. Okay. It's something that would be nice if like I can sell one of my other properties and trade up into this is really 100%. What it comes down to.
The other thing I'd say in this property in particular, and this might be the unpopular opinion here of the day, but like this is one that I almost want to trade up into, long-term rent it, let somebody else depreciate that carpet, let somebody else depreciate those shitty cabinets, let somebody else depreciate the better than it deserves vanities over time without you investing another dollar. You're buying it at $270.
Because look here, this is what I was doing off screen. Actually, was looking up what are long-term rents going for right now.
But and then let somebody else depreciate all that stuff because like then they make it ugly enough that it's worth doing a major renovation.
I agree if he didn't have a personal stake in using.
Absolutely, but he said no. He said that wasn't his top priority.
long-term rental is
Well,
a pretty viable move with this one.
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Now-
gonna say. So there was a 14 same square footage. It's closer to the lake. It's not on the water, but it's on.
Maybe midterm. This might be a
Because I mean,
midterm
it could be
play.
a Riverview
Interesting.
midterm.
Yeah, I think going the midterm route where, yeah, you can get a year-long lease,
I didn't
but
know people need midterms in Cicero.
Riverview Hospital.
yeah,
up there.
you got hospitals up there in Hamilton County.
They're
um,
building. They're
And here's what I'll
building-
say: there are two awesome agents that I would recommend that people chat with. One of them actually just recently joined Roots. That's Cindy Balot. She does an awesome job on the midterm rental side. The other one, who I've worked with for years, he manages two of mine at Otten Fishers, is Bo Matlock. Those are two awesome agents who people should talk to about midterm rentals, and who we should probably have on this podcast at some point to talk about that.
We should
'cause,
do a medium-term
like,
rental show.
because I feel like we've all kind of got the flip long-term
Yeah.
or short-term side of
we
things.
had Bo on a long time ago.
Yeah,
so.
it's been a minute, but I think it's worth bringing them on. But I think that this could like be a midterm play as it is
I think
today.
so too. Yeah.
I think you need to invest a
What's
whole lot.
another
less.
reason why I think it's a good deal? There's options
Yeah, there's a
Mhm.
ton of optionality
and
here.
limited downside.
Yeah, I think, dude, if you can raise the
Send it.
cash to do it, do it.
I would love to see you buy that at 260 though, but it might be too late for that.
No, it's not too late yet.
Because like to me, 275 is what it's probably worth, but it's not necessarily a smoking hot deal.
Mm,
You're only building so much Cicero inventory, and like
Yeah.
you're only building up so
Maybe
much.
it's worth a little more than that.
but you also
We might
gotta,
have a couple G's in equity. in it.
you,
Maybe
you need to think that there's nothing else for sale up there either.
You're
one.
right. You're right.
I want to know what that one just sold for or is selling for
Mhm.
that we were looking at earlier.
I would love to know that. I mean, it's as easy as picking up the phone, calling the agent too. So.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
that's your homework, man,
Mhm.
and figure out if that's your agent fees that you're saving.
So what are you thinking? You wanna do?
I don't know yet. I'm definitely leaning towards buying it. I've sent it out to a couple people that are on my list that would potentially be interested, and just be like, hey, transparently, I want to keep this one. I'm sending it out to you because I feel like this is one that you're interested in that I've talked to you recently about.
Yeah.
So that's really all that have seen it so far. But yeah, I mean, I would love to keep it. I just need to. It's all about moving money, figuring out where it's coming
It's always
from.
the hardest part,
It
man.
is.
Like once you get into this sickness that we call real estate investing, it's all about just moving money between the different projects you're working on.
Yeah.
Which becomes its own full-time job itself. But
Yeah,
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
perfect.
yeah, I think
Good stuff.
I got a call today because we got to get home for some trick or treating.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's Halloween.
So
I gotta go dress my kid up as a nudie cutie. So
Excuse
Nice.
me.
yeah, she's going out as a kid who is taking a bath.
okay,
So
Sick.
so she's gonna be in a robe and then yep, she's gonna be in a robe and she's gonna be in her bubble bath, which is a wagon that's been dressed up. My wife is
Love it.
awesome.
that's awesome.
And yeah, so that's what mine. How about yours? Like, what's
Yeah, he's gonna go as a pumpkin or a ghost, just depending on which one he's gonna allow us to put on.
how about you, Tyler? I know you got the little
Yeah, I actually, this is terrible. I don't know what he's going to be.
one.
It's a surprise. So
surprise
going
to everybody or just to you?
to, I think to everyone.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect, dude.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well,
Cool, guys.
it's been another episode of the
Yeah.
Indie Investor Speakeasy.
Yes.
Join us
Tyler,
live.
Tyler,
Join
what's the
us-
best way for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So I would say Instagram, just DM me, or they can, just search Tyler Lingle Indie. You'll find me anywhere. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
Brooks.
Brooks at BR Buys Indie, or reach out to me in the either my DM or if you want to reach any of us, really, if you want to reach out into the Indie Investor podcast social medias as well, we'll make sure it gets to whoever it needs to go to.
Beautiful. And for anybody who wants to get in touch with me, Nick at offleashconstruction.com for anything construction related, or if you just need help analyzing deals. Brooks pulled it up earlier, but offleashconstruction.com/estimator for anybody who's looking to quickly estimate a rehab project. And I'll just put it out there into the universe right now. By this time next week, we will have offleashconstruction.com/calculator that will have a quick way of analyzing deals for everybody who's looking to do that in a quick and easy way directly on our website. So
the last
Sweet.
thing is come to our December 5th masterclass.
absolutely, definitely
Yeah.
do that.
Get out here.
Those are
come visit
invaluable.
Indy. Yeah.
We're trying to do these live ones on Thursdays more. At least make it a regular thing. Next Thursday we will not be on. I don't believe I won't be on at least. You guys might be
If
on.
you're giving me a week off, dude, I'm going to put my feet up.
But we will have something airing next Thursday as well. Come airing live, which will be awesome.
At least one of the hosts is going to be on that.
Yeah.
So
we'll let you know. It'll be a cool one. But yeah, start tuning in on Thursdays and marking your calendars for Thursdays around 3. That's kind of going to be the plan. So
beautiful. Love that.
Cool, guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it.